I need an Admiral's hat.
It is time for us to leave. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We're going to try and make as much headway
as we can to Skiathos.
Now, I have a quick question for you guys and girls. El Capitan, ears in or ears out? Which way should it be worn? Alright, let's get this show on the road.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Harris, thank you. Bye-bye, boatyard.
So here's where we find ourselves, tied up in the visitors section of Limni harbour. It's quite a small little harbour, a lot of little fishing boats in here, and this red line delineates the part for visiting boats. I suppose we could have stopped behind these two, but we'd have been too close to the entrance, and the entrance is quite shallow for bigger boats wanting to come past. So we actually came in and tied up at this little kind of dog's leg, which is a bit of an odd shape, but we fit. We've got free electricity and free water at the moment. I don't know how long that lasts, but while we've got it, we'll use it. Of course, now we've run the engine coming from Limni Boatyard to Limni Harbour. It's time to change the oil while it's still warm and liquidy enough. So I'm just here with the old trusty hand pump, a 10-litre plastic bottle, and I'm sucking the oil, the old oil, out through the dipstick hole. So we're going to do that. The engine went perfectly, even though it was I had to top up the freshwater part of the cooling system. There's no drips from the shaft seal now, so that's great. Part of my brain wants to tighten up the thing a bit more, but the other part of my brain is saying, look, if it's just working, leave it alone, don't touch it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. So oil change and oil filter change, and then the engine is good to go for our big shot.
Good job.
Slow process, but slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
And while I've been changing the oil and the oil filter and making sure that the freshwater side of the cooling system was topped up perfectly and checking that the stone gland doesn't leak, Ansha has been furiously battering away at the keyboard, editing together the next video for you guys.
How are you doing, love?
I'm done. I'm going to have a beer now.
Sounds like a plan. I might have some more water.
Ooh, lucky you.
Well, I've got 8 minutes 54 on there so far, so we've got about another 6 minutes to make.
Yeah.
And then we can start. I'll give it to you. You can do your magic, and then, yep.
Right. Beer time. When we came in and tied up here at Limni Harbour, the tide was almost high, and since we've been here, obviously the tide has dropped, and the Halkida Channel is known for being quite tidal, more so than any other places in the Med. And one of the problems we had was at the bow. Our stonking great mantis anchor lives here at the bow, and it's quite wide across there, so that relates to across here, and we were in danger of having the end of the anchor tap onto the concrete here. So to fix the problem, we've dropped the anchor in the water, but there is a lip underneath the harbour here, and the anchor roll bar was sliding underneath the lip of the harbour. We were concerned that once the tide came up, then the anchor would get caught underneath that lip and cause problems. So the quick solution was to tie a line onto the roll bar of the anchor and just tie that off onto the tow rail, and that just keeps the anchor that far away from the wall, and the first thing that's going to touch anywhere here is that fender. You've got to be a little bit ingenious when you live on a boat. Friday morning, and we're in the harbour here at Limni, and we've prepped the boat as much as we can to depart today. We're in a bit of a tricky parking spot here, oddly angled to a dogleg of a dock, and we're just sort of like weighing up our options for getting off the dock. Wind gusts keep coming every now and then and blowing us onto the dock. We do of course have a bow thruster which will push the bow out. We've got a basic plan in place of which line will be released last. And of course the entrance to the harbour is behind the boat. So the trick is I'm going to try and bring the bow out to about here using the bow thrusters. Ansha will be here with a boat hook at the back pushing us the back end of the boat off the dock, and then I'm going to try and go forward into the harbour a bit so that I can line up with the very narrow entrance and start getting some way behind me, because without enough way I've got very little steerage going in reverse. This is what the situation looks like behind, and yes, it really is as close as it looks. So that's why we've got to go forward, we can't go backwards. And if we just look past the second yacht that's tied up there, that is the entrance behind, and I've got to stay as close to that yacht as possible because it's super shallow where those rocks are. So a bit of a tricky one. We'll have all the cameras rolling and we'll see how we do. Your thoughts, Admiral?
Bit nervous, bit excited. I trust Baz, he's the best one to get us out of here. Obviously, it'll be what it'll be, we'll all do our best and be fine.
Alright, let that line go. Is it clear? Come back, leave the line.
Alright.
Pushes off. Yes. Good journey.
Okay, thank
you.
And you too.
Stand by with the boat fender. Not the... yeah. Wore my El Capitan hat.
Yeah, but if it had gone wrong, you'd have looked really stupid.
I look like a right brat. Alright. Well, we got out, nobody died. Yeah. We're about an hour from our destination, and I don't think we're going to get any more wind, so we're going to put at least the head sail away, maybe leave the main out, help stabilise the boat a bit. Go to 30. Alright, we'll let her settle, and then once she comes back around in line, I'll test it. Alright, that was 3,000. No crap out of the exhaust. So snub it, good.
I need an Admiral's hat.
It is the morning after we arrived here. We didn't film yesterday because we like to do talky bits with this camera, and seriously the wind was blowing 15-20 knots when we arrived, and it was just impossible to make a normal recording.
Yeah.
You can hear the engine in the background. It is time for us to leave. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We're going to try and make as much headway
As we can to Skiathos.
east, yeah. The wind is predicted to pick up from the northeast, and that will create problems as we try and get out of the final bit of the Ebbia Channel. So we're leaving now while it's still relatively calm. Look,
and we've got a couple of other plans, so if it's really bad we can come back, and there's a couple of anchorages that we've marked out.
plan B and C.
Yeah.
Always have a plan B and C. This has been a great little place to anchor overnight. Holding was great. There's a few tavernas on the shore, and I'm sure there's probably a supermarket in town as well. It's a small town, but yeah, great little place.
Yeah, it was a good first anchorage.
Yeah.
Slept well, did you?
Oh, I did. Yesterday we were. Yesterday was a good sort of motor sail, but I was also babying the engine as well, constantly monitoring the temperatures and pressures and the water, the fresh water. But it looks good this morning when I did my check, so I'm quite happy that today we're going to get, you know, a good day from the engine again, if needed. Hopefully, well, I mean, even if the wind does pick up, it's going to be coming right on the nose.
So we'll probably be motoring most of the way.
This is going to be an 8-hour trip to Skiathos.
Yeah, so we thought if we leave now, we'll either get there early enough so that we've got plenty of daylight to find a good anchorage. We're going to head for Skiathos town
to begin with.
But it also gives us plenty of time, as I said, to find...
There's a house on the road.
There is a house on the road.
There is a house on the road behind the green truck.
Sorry.
So because we're leaving early enough, it will give us an opportunity, if we have to turn back, that we'll still have plenty of time to get to either anchorage B or C.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Now, I have a quick question for you guys and girls.
El Capitan.
Ears in? Or ears out?
No.
Which way should it be worn?
I know what I'd say.
Alright, let's get this show on the road.
Before we end this video, we'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody, all the crew at Lividitas Boatyard in Sipiada, just north of Limni town on the island of Ebbia in Greece. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below, and when you do that, click on the bell icon too, and click on all notifications so that you get notified every time we put out a brand new episode of Sailing ABC.